So, okay, folks, I think it's time to begin. First, I'd like to recognize Master Rose's first disciple in North Carolina, a teacher also in the Magic Tortoise School, Shifu Gabriel St. Clair. She teaches what she learns from Master Rose and the Double Dragon Alliance and Magic Tortoise weekly in Orchard Park in Durham, North Carolina. Gabe's is the passion and energy behind this workshop. And now it is my great honor to introduce Master Rose Oliver. Rose is zooming in from Chicago, but has made her home for 2 decades at least in Shanghai, China. Rose has achieved personal mastery while promoting other teachers through her Double Dragon Alliance. She has dismantled traditional barriers between martial schools and has made a, you might say, bridge of birds, promoting friendship and cultural exchange between her native Britain and her adoptive country. And we now also know many other countries around the world, and has been honored both by the government in Shanghai and by Queen Elizabeth. Master Rose Oliver.
Oh, thank you very much, Joe. That was very touching. Thank you. I really appreciate the introduction. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. Really excited to see you all. Very happy to be part of this Zoom workshop. It's going to be a fun, I hope, fun 2 hours. Lots of things we're going to cover. First of all, I also want to say thank you to Dr. J. Dunbar and Sifu Kathleen Cusick of Magic Tortoise Taiji School. There, hello, Sifu Kathleen. I want to say a big thank you to both of you. Really, privileged and honored to call you my friends, and I appreciate your continued support and hosting this workshop for us, and really appreciate everything you do to support, our school, but so many other people and Taiji groups all in America and around the world. So I really appreciate everything that you do, and thank you very much for hosting and doing all the background work today and keeping us going and making sure everyone understands how to interact with Zoom. So appreciate all of that. And also I want to say thank you to Dave. So again, as Dr. J mentioned, Gabe is really a passionate Taiji practitioner, somebody who's practiced for a very long period of time and embodies all of this sort of enthusiasm and energy and passion and wants to share. And I think that's one of the reasons why myself and Dr. J and many others who know her really enjoy working with her and being with her, because she's so passionate. She wants everybody to learn and have good health and share what she's learned with other people. So thank you to Gabe for really pushing to get this Zoom workshop off the ground, and also to some of your students and friends like Ada and Lauren and Jim Seabold and Nick and others who I know some of you are joining today as well. And thanks for your support. And I know there are a few old friends. I saw Tom from Norway. I heard your voice earlier, so thanks for joining from Norway, Tom. I know there are people from the UK and Sweden, but thank you all for joining in. So that's the kind of first early blurb. So now let's get to work. My thoughts today for actually making the workshop work is I will be teaching some demonstration, but I hope that you can also follow along so that I can actually give you some tips and corrections and advice rather than I just demonstrate. Dr. J and I and my husband Colin, we're going to be working to make sure that you can be sort of pinned when I want to give you some corrections. So be ready that every now and again I might say, okay, can we pin Sharon please, so we can watch Sharon do this exercise, or Catherine, I might say, can we show Catherine in the spotlight so we can see her more clearly? So that's something we might do as we go on. Okay, so I know some of you have different setups, so some of you it may be easier to do physical movement, and some people it may be that the space that you have, you're going to be sitting. But we'll do our best to make sure we can give you feedback on your movements and corrections and things like that. Okay, I'm trying not to talk too long, trying to get on with the action, but one thing, because of Zoom, I'm going to try to keep a sort of steady, slow speaking speed. and also, you know, a steady sound level. But if at any time you feel my voice gets faint or there's an echo or something that's going on, please let Dr. J know so that we can adjust. We have signals as well, so to make sure that I can know that I need to speak up or slow down. So we'll do our best to make sure everything runs smoothly. Okay, so finished talking. So now we're going to start off with some exercises. This first group of exercises we're going to do are tendon stretching, sinew elongation, and joint opening exercises. If you've come to some of our DDA workshops before, you may well have done them, so it's good to have a refresher. But I see there are lots of people that I haven't met before, so I hope you will enjoy this set. So you need to have enough space with your hands out to the side. Okay, I'm going to step back so you can see my feet. Most of the time, you'll be able to see me completely. Occasionally, I'll come forward so you can see the hands more clearly. Okay. So for the first exercise, we're going to start with opening our feet. And we want to have our feet splayed outwards, not in a typical horse stance. We want to have them splayed outwards. This allows the energy to flow out through the legs, and then you will feel that there's no tension in the legs or in the knees. Okay. We want to sit into our haunches just a little bit. So feel that you're sitting on the edge of like a bar stool. And I have a bar stool if we need to demonstrate. So just sitting just gently in the hip, so not a low stance. We're going to just feel that we're suspended from above, so our spine is nice and straight. And from the side, you can see, just nice and relaxed. We don't want to curl our bottom underneath. We want to have a very slight arch here in the lower back. So this is not for a sort of typical horse stance where you would want to tuck your tailbone under. Here we want a slight duck's bottom, just very marginally. So keep that nice and relaxed in the lower back. Okay, so that's the sort of legs. Now the hands, we're going to come out to the side first, and we're going to form a ball in front. So hands just about in line with the dantian. So we're going to rotate the hands, palms facing straight forwards, and this time we're going to push all the way forward. So we'll run through it one time, and then I'll go through each movement very carefully. But this is a tendon stretching exercise. So when you do this, it's not like a holding post chi ball. So you stretch forwards, then turn the hands up to face the fingers upwards. Stretch the hands out to the sides, and you really want to stretch through the shoulders. So imagine you are like Samson, pushing the pillars apart. So you're really trying to push all the way through each joint. So feel like each joint is opening. So then release off, just relax off, and then stretch again. So you want to feel like you're really opening up the shoulder girdles, opening up the scapula, stretching in between. Keep the fingers stretching upwards as you do this. Relax off. So 3 times to stretch. Very good. Oh, Patricia, very good. Relax off. This time, let the palms face straight down. And again, stretch as far as you can. Imagine 2 people are holding your fingers and pulling you apart. So you're really stretching through each joint. Open, then relax off. Stretch as much as you can. Relax off one more time. And then really feel that you can stretch between the shoulder girdles, through the elbows, wrists, fingers. Everything is stretching open. And relax off. Now you're going to turn the palms up, and we want to get this really good turn. So that's not enough. It has to get a very good rotation. So you'll feel this through the ribs. So then stretch and open. So each part of the shoulder joint itself is getting a different sort of stretching feeling when you rotate to the different hand postures. Relax off, stretch. And you'll feel a little bit of sweat, which is good. This is really to kind of release all the stale toxins in the body. Relax off. One more stretch. Okay, very good. Now drop your elbows down as you relax off. Bring the hands in front of you. You're going to roll up the fingers one by one. So like a baby would curl its fingers around your finger. So you do the same, slowly curl the joints, the fingertip joints one by one. Draw the hands down to your inguinal fold area. Inhale, inflate the chest, open the palms up, and then push forward with the palms as you exhale. So pushing forward and slightly downwards. So you're not straight, you're slightly downwards like this. And then you're going to join middle finger to thumb, make a beak with your hands, turn the beak over so the hands point down, and then stretch the hands out to the sides. So this, you get a really good different stretch now through all the different arm ligaments. So this is not enough. Really try to get as much stretch through the wrist as you can. And you can feel it also through this part of the forearm. So stretch and open, relax off. Stretch open, relax off. One more time, stretch open, relax off. And keep that stretch through the hand. Keep this beak, don't let the beak sort of go floppy. Relax off. Now you're going to turn the beak to face backwards. Again, different part of the shoulder now that's getting a good stretch. So stretch and open, relax off. So 3 times each one. Stretch, relax off. One more time. Stretch, relax off. Turn the beak to face down. Stretch again. And you can see that although I'm stretching, I'm still talking. So you should not be holding your breath and causing tension. So the idea is you're stretching to your limits, but not holding your breath. And then down. And so we just repeat the earlier movements. Relax off. Stretch again. Okay. Turn up. And then stretch with the palms up again. Okay, this time drop the elbows as before, hands out in front of you. Curl the fingers up like you just did. This time though, you're going to bring the hands to the small of the back. And you're going to grasp the right thumb with the left hand. So I'll show you from the rear in a moment. And then at the same time, draw your feet together. Okay, so you're in a sort of ballet posture and sort of stand straight. So if I just show you from the back. Okay. So this next part, this is just finishing the upper body. We haven't got to the lower body, legs yet, but just for the upper body. The last part, we're going to rotate the shoulders back. So very important, don't leave the shoulders forward. Rotate them back. I'll do from the side so you can see. Rotate the shoulders back. Hands are going to drop down. So don't keep the hands here in the small of the back. Let the hands drop down. Arch like a banana. So you look up at the ceiling, but you want to have a complete stretch to the whole spine. Okay, then we come back to standing. So we'll talk a little bit more about, we've almost finished the upper body, and then I'll talk a little bit about some of those key points. Release the hands, and inhale, draw the hands up above the head. I'm sorry, I can't quite see my hands, I'll step back a little bit. But basically your hands are going to be like this, palm to facing each other. But you're stretching up to the ceiling, and you're really opening the ribs. So imagine someone's pulling you up, but your feet are stuck in concrete. So you've been stretched upwards and downwards at the same time. Look up at the ceiling. Bring the head to face forward. And then slowly draw the hands down to the byway point, where the fontanelles are. Draw the energy down through the body. When the hands are in front of the mouth, swallow. Keep drawing the energy all the way down to the dantian. with the hands in front of the inguinal fold area here. They separate out to the sides, splay the fingers and toes open, and you want to rock forward. So you feel like you're almost going to fall forwards. And you want to dispel the sort of the stale energy through the fingertips, through the toes, get rid of all that stale, unwanted, negative, tired energy. And then slowly rock back to standing normally again, hands just relax. Okay, so that's the upper body set. We're going to do the legs, and we'll put it together, and then we'll do a run through together. This is not a Qigong. Maybe I'll step forward a bit. It's not a Qigong exercise, so you're not looking to feel all soft and floaty or sort of all of the energy feeling. You know, it's a dynamic tendon stretching exercise. So you should feel a little bit of sweat, a little bit of like, wow, you know, kind of stiff here, and ooh, that's a bit kind of sore as I'm stretching those ligaments and tendons. So you should have that kind of a feeling, but it's actually very energizing because you release all of this toxin and let your body sort of open up. So the same way that a dog or a cat or most animals, when they first get out of bed, first thing they do is, you know, really stretch and stretch. It's a similar kind of idea, is open the body, get everything flowing, get the energy, get the blood flowing, get that good health going. Okay, so that's a sort of upper body set. I'm going to do the legs in a moment, but just a couple of points with the hands, and I'll come forward to make it clearer, just to make sure everyone can see. So this part here, with the hand is out to the side, try not to let your hands curl over. If you are practicing yourself, or you're showing other people who maybe have some arthritis or issues like that, obviously they must go within their own movement and range of motion. But it's important as much as possible to get that openness. And if you're able, you know, really stretch. Okay. Same for the arms. Trying to show. So this is not this kind of an arm movement. It's a real stretch, but you're trying to like stretch the shoulder away from the rib cage. You're trying to stretch the elbow away from the shoulder. You're trying to stretch the wrist away from the elbow, fingers away from each other, you know, different metatarsals away from each other. So you're really getting a good stretch. So you will probably feel ligaments and tendons, you're running through the arm like, oh, wow, didn't know they were there. So it's really a dynamic stretch. The other movement to kind of talk about is this beak. See, a lot of people, they'll have like a sort of a single whip type of a soft beak. So it really should have this dynamic stretch. So you'll feel again through this part of the wrist. It can be quite uncomfortable, or even up the forearm, you'll get like a little bit of cramp even. So don't worry if that happens, just keep stretching through. But you know, if it's obviously uncomfortable, painful, then yes, relax off and stretch, and you can just do this with your hand. Often you'll get that initial reaction because your body doesn't normally get stretched like that. So, you know, don't worry, but sometimes, you know, it's first thing in the morning, ooh, ooh. So just do that, and then that's enough to kind of release any tension in the muscles. I'm just talking about the banana stretch. I know a lot of people, I know games group like the banana stretch. Very important for your spine. If I show you again, hands want to go down. Don't keep the hands in the small of the back. But this rotation of the shoulders, you know, opens up the sternum, opens up the chest, and helps to get this good banana shape through the spine. So we don't want to bend from one area of the spine. We want to get this nice banana shape. So we want to have a good even stretch, not a bending from one position. Okay, so that's the upper body. We're just going to do the legs, but before we do the legs, if anyone has any concerns or questions, you know, please send a question to Dr. J, and then he'll pass them on to me if there's anything anyone wants to ask. Otherwise, we'll go straight through to the legs, and then at the end of the whole set, we'll do a one time together. Maybe my husband Colin and will help me sort of show some of you so I can see what you're doing. And then if there is any, oh, hi, Jeremy. Hi, good to see you. Yes, thanks for joining. So yes, when we're going through together, if I see anyone, maybe we might sort of spotlight that person's video. If I want to say that's great or that's a potential problem. Okay, but let's go through the legs now, and then we'll put it together one time. Okay, so I'll step back so you can see the feet. So imagine we've just finished the upper body set, so they would normally run sequentially. So let's just imagine we've just finished, we've just done this, we've just relaxed off, come forward a little bit. So now we're going to go into the leg set. So you're going to shift your weight, and I'm sorry, I'm your mirror image. So you're shifting to your left leg. Left hand goes back, right hand in front, both palms facing the same way. Right palm down, left palm up. As you pivot, you're trading your weight to the right leg now. Left hand up, right hand down. Again, hand is still open. And now the right hand is going up in a fist. The left hand is going to pass underneath the armpit as you sit down, almost into like a snake creeps down posture. So you get this kind of posture. So you're stretching down that front leg, back leg. So you can still see this line between the two hands. Trade the weight across and open that front leg. Trade the weight. So this left hand is still staying where it was against the leg. Now, you're going to lift up. I'm going to step back so I'm in shot. So now you have this stretch between the front hand and the rear leg. Now you're going to draw the energy from the back leg with your right hand, pass it through the body. You're going to grasp the left wrist and you're stretching. You see this palm is stretching away from you. So you're grasping the left wrist and stretching between the front hand and the rear foot. So you're going to try and keep a good even stretch. Then you're going to separate the hands. Sorry, I have to move to the wall. Push between both palms. So you're in your bow stance, but you push between the palms. Form two fists. Now we're going to turn to our left side to look back at our rear right heel. So you're stretching with both hands away from each other. Then you're going to turn back, look forwards again. Now bring the left hand to grasp the right wrist. And stretch between the front hand and the rear leg. And stretch. And then we're going to make a fist with our left hand, right hand underneath the armpit. And we're just going to go down to the other side. And we use the body to raise the hands. So change the angle of the body to lift the hand up. Bring that left hand now to grasp the right wrist. So you're going to stretch. So it's not important how low you go, it's important how you stretch. So stretching. So keep breathing naturally. Separate both hands again. So push between the palms. Make two fists. Now we're going to look to our right. Look back at the rear left heel now. So keep this stretch, this left hand up. Look forward again. Bring the right hand to grasp the left wrist. So stretch. And then this time we're going to step forward. And we're keeping in this low posture. Make two baby hands. So bring the thumb to the base of the ring finger. Curl the hands over the top. Push the fists into the inguinal folds. And then we're going to walk 3 little circles with a sort of bagua step. And we're going to, as we go around second time, slowly starting to rise upwards. Last circle, coming back up to standing. Slowly open the hands. And so come back to normal. Okay. So that was the lower body set. So hopefully you're all nice and sweaty now. So it's quite hard work. Just to talk a little bit about the hand postures, because obviously it's sometimes not quite easy to see from that angle. So when we're stretching, if we're doing this stretch here, this palm is facing away from you. So really kind of almost as if you were pulling your own arm, your left arm with your right hand. So you're stretching this away from the rear leg. So if I do from the side like this, yeah, very comfy. So it's not supposed to be comfy. So you stretch and you really feel this stretch all the way through to the back leg. So if you're in this side here, you want to feel this hand is really stretching against that back leg, and you feel it all through the Achilles tendon, to the hip, excuse me, and all the way through to that hip. So that's something to be talking about for the palms facing forward. When we're pushing from the side, very similar to the upper body step. So you're really stretching as much as you can. So no floppy bird wings. So this is a good stretch. Then 2 fists, and really get a good stretch through the scapula, to scapula and the shoulder girdle. So you get a really sort of, good stretch here. And when we turn, if I turn, so you can see what I'm doing from the side. It's very difficult when we do it differently like this. So when we're coming back here, we're looking back at our rear heel. So you're turning to the opposite side to look at your rear heel. This hand is still stretching forward, this hand is still stretching back. Okay, so you're getting a really good stretch through the other side of the body. And then you come straight and go to the next one. Okay, and final hand posture to talk about. When we were just finishing at the end, we stepped forwards. And when we stepped forward, we were keeping the hands stretching forward. Then the hands separated, and we want to bring the thumb to the base of the ring finger like a baby's fist. Curl the fingers over the top. And then we bring the hands down to the inguinal fold here and push in. This is to prevent all that good energy you've been cultivating from just dissipating down through the legs. So you keep the hands pushed in, and then you walk your circles. And when you walk the circles, try to get like a slightly sliding step. So it shouldn't look like, oh, I'm desperate for the toilet kind of a movement. It should look like a sliding step. And then slowly come back up to standing. Slowly release the hands. Okay, so that's the entire set. So let's now put it together, and then we can see if anyone has any questions or problems. Looks like everyone's working. I can only see one bar, so if I can't see you, I apologize, but we'll have a look at everybody in a moment. I'll let you ask questions and maybe show me if you have something you want to ask about. But looks good. Okay, so let's take it from the top, and we'll just run through it one time as a whole, and then we'll put all the movements together. I'll take a sip of water. Okay. So apologize if I sometimes have to move forward or back just to make sure you can see every part. Okay, so we're beginning first. So this time we're running through the whole. So hands out to the side, feet out to the side. Hands in front. Rotate the palms, face away, push forwards. Fingers up. Hands out to the side, really stretch. So we'll just do one stretch of each just to save a little time. So relax off, and one more stretch. Okay, then we will put our palms down. So you can do many repetitions of the stretch release, or you can just do one stretch release. It's all okay. Depends on how much time you have. Stretch. Release. Stretch. release. Palms up, so stretch, release, stretch, release. Looking good, Ailey. Elbows down, bring the hands in front, curl the fingers out joint by joint, thumbs over the top to make a fist. Draw the hands down to the iguana pose. Inhale, really inflate the chest. Palms open, push downwards and slightly forwards. As you exhale, thumb to middle finger, form your beak and turn it over, face down, hands out to the side, stretch, release, stretch, really get your beak stretching, release, very good. So beak facing backwards now, stretch, release, one more time, stretch, oh very good Lewis, stretch, good, turn the beak face downwards now, we'll go through a little quicker, so palms down, stretch one more time, palms up, stretch, release, elbows drop, bring the hands in front of you. We're going to roll the fingers out joint by joint again. This time we're going to bring the hands to the small of the back. Remember, your left fist is going to grasp your right thumb. Bring the feet together like we did earlier. Just swivel the hips in and out until you're back into this standing posture. Stand tall. Rotate the shoulders back and drop the hands downwards, remember? Then we're going to arch back evenly like a banana as we look up at the ceiling. Get a good stretch to the whole spine. Don't bend from one part. This is very good for the back. Okay, come to face front again. Release the hands. Stretch the hands out to the sides, up over the head. Sorry, you can't see my hands, but palms are facing towards each other. Stretch up to the ceiling like you're trying to grasp the clouds above you as you're looking up. Really stretch through the ribs. Look forwards, let the hands slowly drop down towards the dantian. And then this time, most of your hands pass the mouth, swallow. Keep going down, so you're drawing that energy all the way to the dantian. Hands in front of the dantian. Open up the hands, splay open the fingers, splay open the toes and rock forwards. Feel like you're almost going to fall forwards. So you're now just expelling all the stale energy out of the fingers and toes. And then come back to stand normally again. Oh, hi Jan. Fingers relax. Trade the weight to the left leg, left hand in front. Left hand behind, right hand in front. Both palms facing the same way. Right palm down now, left palm up. Swivel and trade the weight to the right side. Left hand up, right hand down. Left hand now dropping as the right hand rises as a fist. Left hand under the armpit. Sit down into like a snake's creeps down posture. As you trade the weight across, open that left foot as you trade the weight, but keep that left hand down. Now use your body to pull up the left hand and drop the right arm. Bring the right hand to grasp the left wrist. Stretch between the hands and the feet in the back. Left palm pushing away towards the sky. Now separate the two hands. Stretch between the palms. Make two fists, stretch between the scapula, turn to your left to look back at your rear right heel. So you get a good stretch to the right side of the body. Right hand stretching up and forwards, left hand back. Come back to face forwards again. Grasp the right wrist with the left hand, stretch the right palm away from you. Stretch between the hands and the feet, and you can hold this and stretch for longer, it's up to you. Left hand makes a fist, right hand underneath the armpit. Sit down. Train the weight across over the right foot. Use the body to lift up the right hand. Bring the left arm forward to grasp the right wrist. Stretch between the front hand and the rear foot. Really have a good stretch. You'll probably feel that in your hips. But get the hips forward. And hips facing forwards. Open the hands. Stretch between the palms. Make two fists. Open the scapula. Turn to your right. Look back at your rear left heel. Okay, now looking forward again. Bring the right wrist, right hand to join and stretch and pull the left wrist away from you. Stretch. Now you're going to step forward into the, make 2 feet together. Separate the hands, bring the thumb to the little base of the ring finger. Baby fists. Bring the hands to the iguana fold. Push in. And you're going to walk 3 circles with your sliding footsteps. And slowly, as second circles start to rise up a bit. Last circle, coming sort of more back up to standing. Let the hands relax. Okay. So that was our full set. Any questions? Anything anyone would like to ask about that set? It's interesting doing it over Zoom because there's a sort of time delay of knowing if anyone would have a question.
So Rose, we just had 2 questions.
Okay.
One question, I answered both of them to the best of my ability, but the first one was from Celeste, and she wanted to know about rotator cuff issues and these exercises.
Oh, okay, yeah, good question. I'll take a quick sip. Thank you. So one thing that's very important with whatever exercise you do, any Tai Chi, Qigong, any exercise you do, you know, with running, whatever, you must know your body. And with injuries or issues people might have, you know, you are going to have to find the best way to practice. With rotator cuff injuries, of course, you know, you have to know how much that mobility, how much range of motion you have, the extent of the injury, you know, how recovered it is for you to exercise. So any new injury, of course, you have to then be very aware of not doing things to aggravate. But when injuries or conditions are on the mend, they do need a little bit of help to sort of push and keep open that flexibility. But you must be guided, obviously, by yourself. This stretch is not going to do, you're not actually going to be twisting or rotating. So it depends very much on, like with Chinese medicine, it depends very much on the individual. So there's not that one size fits all answer to, oh, someone with a rotator cuff injury can't do this. It's not like that. But you need to know exactly what range of motion you have, what tends to set off any pain. So this is a stretching. So it should be okay, but again, as I said, with the caveat that that person who's practicing must be able to feel for themselves what aggravates their particular condition. But there's no turning, there's no sort of rotating, it's stretching. So what they can do, if they have, you know, depending on, again, on their particular concerns or issues, they can sort of build into more dynamic stretches. So start off with a smaller stretch. And if that's sort of like, oh, I can feel that stretch, that's okay. Don't go beyond that. But for Chinese medicine, and many of you, if you've had like Tuina or acupuncture, but in particular for Tuina, you know, the acupressure massage, you will know it's not a relaxing massage. It's not a kind of, oh, that feels so nice. It's like, this is agony. What are they doing to me? You know, it's very painful. And the reason things like Chinese massage, acupressure massage is painful is because it's identifying blockages. So in Chinese medicine, it's like if there's pain, it's because there's a blockage, there's an injury, and they want to move through that blockage. And moving through a blockage is painful. I've had this massages done on my ankle. I had a very old injury with ligaments were actually broken in this ankle. This go back 30 odd years now, or more. Sorry, I've got a lot more. Oh wow, 40 years ago. And it was always swollen afterwards. I could never get slowly down. It was painful. Lots of activities were painful. And I had a very good Chinese medicine doctor do a massage, Tuina massage. And the moment he started, I thought, I have made a dreadful mistake. This is agony. What is he doing? I thought I was going to die. It was so painful. But he released all of the scar tissue in that area. And I've never had that problem again. But the actual massage was agony, and it was frightening because it was so painful. So I'm not suggesting you do things that cause you agony, but I'm saying a little bit of stretching in a gentle way to help release some of that scar tissue, release some of that stasis is good, but you must go slow. You must live with what you have and work along those lines. So that's a long answer, but I hope that that was helpful.
I'm sure that's helpful for more than one person. I know you don't want to spend too much time on questions. You want to get back to movement, but let me give you a couple of the other questions so that you can answer as you will. Catherine would like to go over the second part again, and I'm sure it would be helpful to go over everything again. I'm not sure how much time you've got. Jane asked, is it a clockwise circle at the end or counterclockwise, and does it matter which side you do first? And Brenda asked, should breathing be continued with mouth closed in these movements? So there's questions for you.
Oh, thank you. You know, because I think if you've been to my workshops before, I'm very flexible. I'm not here to like, this is my act, I'm going to do it, I don't care if you like it. I'm here to sort of offer some ideas and helpful tips, I hope. So if there are things people want to do again, and we cut out some other things, I'd rather people went away with something they could actually practice and work. So, if you sort of say, can we just focus on these two things, that's perfectly fine with me. So, I don't want anyone to feel I'm rushing them through anything. So, yeah, no, I'm very flexible. So, yeah, we can do some things again. And I've saved some time at the end to review as well. So, I want to make sure people have something they can go home and they can practice straight away. But just for breathing, as you saw, I was talking the whole time. So the breathing is just very natural. Don't worry about timing breath to movements. If you can keep your mouth closed, breathe in through the nose. You can breathe out through the mouth, but try not to breathe in through the mouth. But, with allergies or whatever, or if you had like a blocked nose, sometimes that's also the only way you can breathe. So, but the optimum would be in through the nose, either out through the nose or out through the mouth. Probably with some of the stretches, it's good to do like a little controlled breath out rather than a kind of release it all at once. It's a little bit like saving money in the bank. You want to get as much money into the bank and the money coming out as little drips so that you keep the money, so you save well. But same with the breathing, good breath in and controlled, even breath out. So that means we keep good energy. We're not exhausting the body or exasperating the body with sort of excessive, too dynamic a breathing. So it's really an even breathing. And as you saw, I'm talking, so no holding the breath. The other question, when you say the second part, not quite sure, do you mean the second part, like the legs? Perhaps we could just...
Perhaps we can ask Catherine to unmute herself and just ask for what she'd like.
Yes, please.
Catherine, would you do that?
Sorry, I take too long. It was the second part I got in a complete muddle. Doing the legs and the back.
Oh, okay. Okay. So How about I just show everybody one time?
Okay.
And that way it's...
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, you're welcome. So we've just finished the upper body, so we'll just come back. So I'll do it from the side, okay?
Good, she re-muted herself. That's good.
And of course, you can't see my leg now. Sorry. So I'm turning to my left. And when you come up, don't just lift your hand up. Use your body. Stretch. Stretch again. Turn to my right. Look back at my rear left heel. And we're going to, I'm going to my left. So is that clockwise or anti-clockwise? I'm sorry. So I'm going to my left. There's counterclockwise. Yeah. Like my science advisor, counterclockwise. And then coming back up. Yeah, we should always go counterclockwise. Because going to the left, in Chinese medicine, they say that's the way the blood moves from the liver. So always counterclockwise for that circle. Does that help, Catherine? So because I know, so we're muted. So Catherine, I hope that's okay. If you have any other questions later, we'll do a review at the end. But yeah, if there are any other questions, keep fielding them to Dr. J, and then we'll have another review as well. So any other questions, Jay?
Catherine says thank you, and no, I think we can move on now, Rose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll do a little review at the end, and if you sort of make a note to yourself during the workshop, if you say, oh, I know what it is I want to ask, yeah, we can go over some questions at the end. Okay, so because of time, I've got a few more exercises that I wanted to show you. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, so maybe we'll have 1 minute if anyone wants to quickly rush off, and I'm just going to take a drink of water. Yeah, so we a different feeling in Zoom for breaks, because you sort of feel like you're already on a break. If anyone needs to step away from them, obviously feel free and grab a glass of water if you have anything you want to ask. My next couple of exercises are going to be from our Master Dongbin, who's my teacher, passed away now, passed away back in 2008. 2005, a long time ago now. So Master Dongbin's been my teacher for quite a few years. A lot of his exercises are also taken partly from his form that we practice and teach at DDA. So a lot of these are foundation exercises that he was taught from his teachers. Master Dongbin, just a little bit about his lineage. His two teachers were Dong Shujie and Yue Guanzhe, who are both senior students of Dong Yingjie, who was himself a disciple of Yak Junfu. So that's just a little bit about lineage. So these exercises, they're foundation for learning Tai Chi, for understanding how Tai Chi works, and also to get the energy moving. So these are less dynamic looking than the tendon stretching exercise, but equally tiring and equally sort of energizing for the body. And so we have some rules and guidelines that we must follow. So I'll explain what we're doing. We're only going to do, I think, 3. And I know Barbara has already put in a request, so I have already thought to do the one that she was interested in, the flying phoenix. So I'll make sure we do cover that today. But I'm only going to cover 3, I think, to make sure we have enough time for people to get to the feel of these. So the first 2 are sort of interrelated. They're going to be an up-down, and then that's going to vary into a forward-back movement. So they're very similar to each other, so I think you'll pick these up quite quickly. This first exercise, I think what I'll do is I'll show you, I'm going to do 4, so let's see how time goes, but I'll show you the 4, and then we'll work through at least to get 3, and then we'll see how we're doing with any questions. But I'll demonstrate them first, and then we'll work on them together. I think that way, if you see them, you know what we're going to be doing. So the first one is an up-down. So I'll demonstrate it. If you want to follow along, please do, but I'll sort of do this as a more of a demo first. So we're going to be doing up and down. Again, you go as low as you would feel comfortable. So this is, you know, if you have any problems or issues with your knees or hips or spine, you know, you would feel that you don't want to go too low, that's absolutely fine. But the key point is that you feel you fold into your hips like a spring. So when a spring is pushed down, you know, we're not bending forward, we're just going straight up and down. So you're trying to get this feeling of this energy rising, lifting you up, and as you go down from above, you're sort of pushing the energy down with you. And now you're being drawn up. So rather than pushing up, pulling down, you're sort of pushing down, being pulled up. So this is quite soft, it feels quite comfortable. Imagine you were sort of in water and you're being pulled up, sort of as if the water was rising you upwards, so you're not trying to push up with the legs. So you're not doing like a squat. You don't want to feel like it's a squat where you're, you know, tensing your muscles up. So rising up. So again, breathing naturally. Normally, eventually, we will be exhaling as we go down, inhaling as we come up. But right now, just focus on breathing naturally. And we want to try to have this sense, try not to kind of do this. Try to, as much as you can, you know, feel that you're going up and down. And it's okay when you get up here that if your heels come up a little bit like that, that's okay. So here you imagine you're being pulled up, and the hands are a bit like seaweed tendrils. If you were a kelp, you're sort of being moved by the ocean current. Okay, so that's up and down. So as you see, that's quite easy, quite comfortable. Our teacher, Master Don, would always say, every exercise 49 times, repetitions. Okay, so yeah, it seems easy until we get to 40 or even less and think, why are we doing this? But yeah, 49 times, it means do as many as you can, but aware of any potential knee issues if you might have. So build up to that, but if you can do more, do more. So now I'm going to show you the variation with the forward back. So this now we do want to go forward backwards. So I'm going to show you first, and then we'll talk about it together. I'll show you from the side so you can see the difference. So I'll do 3 of the up, down, and then we'll go into the forward back. So we'll just do 3 up and down. So as your hands come down, imagine your head is rising slightly as the hands get to shoulder height, then you're going all the way down. As your hands are coming up, your bottom's almost still dropping down. So the yin-yang interplay, this sort of feeling of the opposite is happening. Number 2, number 3. It was probably more than 3. So now we're going to go forward and back. So this time as you go down, start to extend forwards. And then we're arching backwards like we did with the banana stretch earlier. And then we're going to go forwards. And then we're going to go back. And forwards. So I'll just do 3 to show you to start with. As you come back, try to think of all of this in your legs, your spine, everything is also part of the movement. So rather than one part of the back bending, you're trying to get this even movement. Okay, so we want to try to do another one here. Here you can see you're sort of sitting into your haunches. So not this, sitting into your haunches, you get like a stretch through. And then all the way through your legs, you can feel this stretch happening. And then the hands are like I said before, like the kelp forest. They're being moved by the motion of the water. Okay, so let's put that together. Let's do 10 of each. Okay. So we're going to do 10 just up and down. And try to time the movement of the arms and the legs. Let them follow the body. Right now, if you say, oh, the waist is going to move, the waist and spine are going to move the arms and legs, try not to worry too much about that. Just let them follow. Try to not let the arms and the legs be the drivers of the movement. They're just following the spine. Well, hi, Nick. Hi, Tricia. Very good. So imagine you're still suspended from above. Even as you go down, think of like this string is pulling upwards. So it's almost like holding you like a puppet. So this is still up and down. I've lost count. I think that was about 8. So we're just, our arms and legs are being moved by the spine. Okay, last one, and then we're going to go forward and back. So one more up. So now we're going to extend forwards. Now the spine is opening, the legs are opening, the arms are just following along. Coming forwards. Very good. Very good, Dick. Very good. Okay, very good, Jane. So again, try to time the movement of the arms and legs with the spine. Okay. Again, try to get this banana shape, so you're not using one part of the spine only to bend backwards. You're arching through the whole spine. Very good, Amy. Again, I've lost count. I think that's 9. Okay, one more. Okay, then we come back up to standing. Okay. Okay, so I think because this exercise is quite dynamic, you will feel tomorrow probably kind of a feeling of discomfort, maybe stretching feeling through the upper body or the spine. But it's very important you get this arching of the spine, not like this. It's a sort of arching, full extension and even extension through the spine. So it's just before we can do any more, maybe just to make sure everyone's okay. If you have any questions, let Dr. J know. Otherwise, I'll wait to hear from Dr. J if there's any questions about that, because that can be quite a dynamic exercise.
The one question is, does it matter which hand is in Rose?
Usually left underneath, right hand under, on top, but no, it doesn't really have it doesn't matter. So if you find yourself doing it the other way, it's not going to cause a problem.
Another question, Rose, is what are these exercises called?
Oh, these are the 26 foundation exercises. So these are 2 of them. This is, in Chinese, Qigong. But these are from Master Dong's lineage, from his teachers, Master Dong Shizuo, Wei Huanzhe, through his teacher, their teacher, Dong Linjie. So these are sort of foundation exercises for their Taiji form.
So no other questions so far, Rose?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I would say when you're doing the first exercise, I think it's very easy and it's very comfortable. The second exercise, just to remember in particular about your spine, that you get this even stretching movement. That's very important. So the next exercise is the Flying Phoenix. So I know we've had requests for the Flying Phoenix, so I wanted to make sure we got that one in. But this is a really great exercise. This one, I'll demonstrate first and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So again, you go within your own range of motion. So this is, I would say it's number 3 in the list of the foundation exercises. I think it's around about number 9. But there's sort of several standing postures that we do first. But this one is one of the 26 foundation exercises. So you're going to have feet slightly wider than hip width apart. So if you think of the underarm width, that would be about the width for your feet. Feet parallel, toes pointing inwards. So as you're going to go down first, again, you go as low as you feel comfortable. So we're going to go down, so we're going to sink down like we did earlier. But this time we're going to stay down. So this is like the bird flying. So when you think of a bird flying, it's not just arms, the whole body is involved. So we're going to sit down again. Now we're rising, we're being pulled up. So this is the phoenix rising. And you're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. So your heels are going to come up off the ground. It's a bit awkward with the camera angle because I want to show you my hands. I'll go back as far as I can. Once you rise up, the hands continue to go up. And then they're going to turn, I will show you hands in a moment. They're going to turn up like the wing tips of a bird. So maybe do it like this. So when you come up like this, as the hands come up, they get to like here, to like a bird's wingtip. So if you see a stork, those very long-legged white, like in Japan, I forget their name, the Japanese kind of stork, they have this way of turning the feathers outwards. So you really want to get this extension with the hands, and then you're going to come down. So that movement is an important part of it, to see the fingers. Okay, and as your hands come down, you're sinking down again, all the way down as low as you feel comfortable. Hands cross over, rise up a little bit. So this is the workout for the legs and the loins and the heart. Now you're being pulled up. Remember, you're coming up onto the balls of the feet. Hands are up. So again, sorry, you can't see my fingertips here, but getting that same stretch and really lifting up. Remember, it's lifting the ribs open. It's not lifting up out of the shoulder socket. So you're trying to keep the shoulders in the sockets, but stretch open the ribs. And then as the hands come down, head rises a bit to push the hands down. And then slowly you're sinking all the way down. Rise up, hands cross over. So imagine as your hands sweep up this enormous bird. You are an enormous phoenix surveying the land. So your energy and intention is really large, looking out and surveying all that you own. Not own. Okay, one more time. Okay, time the movement of the arms and the legs to the spine opening. And then sinking down. Okay, last one. So you should not be sort of, oh, I'm already up. Oh, now I just do my arms. This should be, your spine is reaching the zenith of its movements as your arms are at the zenith of their movement. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about the feeling you want to get with this before we go through it again. This is, many of these foundation exercises, you know, they're really working the body very hard. In Chinese medicine, they say this squatting down. You know, it's very good for the old-fashioned word, the loins. Why are the loins important? Why should we have good loins? It's not just about the old biblical stuff, but you know, we want good reproductive health, we want good digestive health, and we want good heart and lung health. So when you're doing these squatting, and particularly with this flying phoenix exercise, the phoenix is related to the heart meridian, to the fire, because you're opening up, and so you're really opening up the heart and lungs. And with this sort of like accordion type movement, as this squatting down and rising, you're really working all the digestive organs and all of the internal organs in the trunk. You know, they're all getting this internal massage and squeezing. So it's like a very strong exercise. Very important, you just breathe naturally. Later on, you know, you will find that you are inhaling and exhaling in a sort of even manner, sort of inhale, exhale. But right now, when you're first practicing, don't try to match breathing with movement, because that actually is detrimental to you. So right now, just breathe naturally, and if you're inhaling, exhaling in different parts, doesn't matter. So just breathe naturally. But this exercise, that's one element, is this opening and for the, you know, all the internal organs. And by coming up onto the balls of the feet, for Chinese medicine, they say the Achilles tendon, and also, you know, through the hamstring, all of this. This is where the bladder meridian runs through. So very important, the bladder, you know, to help, and also the kidney meridian and bladder meridian, both running through the backs of the leg. Very important for your physical health, that your body is releasing and excreting toxins and is working to its optimum mobility and optimum ability. So by rising up, squatting down, you're also helping to kind of pulse through those meridians, which helps to kind of squeeze out toxins and helps in the excretory process. So it's an excellent exercise for as a sort of cleansing exercise too. So that's a sort of the Chinese medicine meridian channel connections. The other part of this exercise is why it's also a very good sort of Qigong kind of exercise. It's also teaching you how to use your intention and your imagination, if you like. So when you're rising, if you think of like a biblical, like a sort of mythological bird, like a phoenix or a roc, you know, these huge birds, or not a dragon, but it's a phoenix, because we want not the raw power of the dragon, we want the sort of more spiritual essence of a winged creature like a bird. So your intention is to be completely in touch and in control of all that's around you. So as your arms sweep up, it's like a huge eagle overseeing the land. Where's the prey? Where is everything? I'm completely in control, and I'm managing the energy all around me. So it's also manifesting your energy outside of yourself and having this connection to the energy around you. So there's a lot going on with this exercise, not just physically up and down sort of movement. Before we run through those three again, any questions on anything I just said, or about the movement?
No particular questions on those, Rose. The only question was about the previous exercise. I don't want to pull you back too far, but the banana stretch. There was a banana. The banana stretch. The question was, do you roll up the spine from the pelvis up in a wave?
Well, this is an interesting point you made about bananas and bananas. Yeah, Well, if you think, unfortunately, I ate the banana yesterday, otherwise I would show you the banana. I don't think I have one left, but I think it's a half nibbled one. But yeah, this is a good question about the hips. This is something in Chinese philosophy, they always talk about the waist. So when they talk about the waist, they don't mean this girdle. They're talking about the spine. So it's like the axle and the, I'm not very good with mechanic, I shouldn't say that. The wheel axle and the rotating part of the axle. It's like all of this and the spine, so the dantian and the physical spine. So don't so much think about the hips, think about, if you wanted to think of a focal point, think of like where, excuse me, like this part here where your belt would start from. If you have to think of the point, that helps you to feel, well, where should I start? How should I do this? Start from that point there, where your lumbar region would be, and think of simultaneously up and down. So rather than start from there, go back and then go down, think of it like that's a part of the curve of the banana. I'm just sorry I don't have a banana because it's really helpful. Like there's an evenness to a banana. Right in the middle is where it will stretch out from it evenly to both ends. You never have a banana that sort of goes, it has a a nice even roundness. So think of that area as if it's emanating from there up and down all at the same time. And so the hips, the legs, the ribs, everything can just follow. So I know that can be a bit esoteric, but think of that feeling from the lumbar region, and from there it's going up and down evenly. So the hips will be following along, as will the upper body and shoulders. So I hope that will help. Oh, okay. So hope that helped, James. Okay.
Yes, I think that was very good, Rose.
Okay, thank you. There's a sort of a delay, isn't there, with Zoom? So, okay, so we've got our 3 exercises, and I think we have time for the one more exercise I was going to do, which is from a Qigong set and a Dantian related exercise. And then I also wanted to show everyone a very simple head massage, which I think we can get through quite quickly.
Rose?
Yes.
I think that you haven't completed the flying phoenix movements yet, have you?
Oh, you want well, I've done the double leg. Did you want the single leg as well?
I think there was some request for maybe at least one of the others, but there are 3 primary ones, yes?
Yes. Oh, okay. So, yeah, there's 3. There's this one, up and down. There's a single leg, and then there's a forward back.
I think it's the forward back one that was requested.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we can do that then. We'll add that one in as our last of the Master Dong's foundation exercises. Oh, okay. So we've done double leg. So now we're going to have a bow stance. So let me see. We'll start left leg forwards, right leg back. Okay. So this exercise, we'll run through it. So it's basically going to be going forward, back. Just straight forward, back, and then we'll do both legs. But when we're going forward and back, we want to go up, down, down, rather than this into the knee. We want to feel we go up from this hip, down this hip, up from this hip, down from this hip. So this forward back movement is just more of a sort of upward, forward, upward, back. So that's very important for the legs. Okay. With our hands, so we'll get into this movement first, and then I'll explain as we go. As we go up, so here you can see, you probably can't see. Still can't see. So as we do this, we want it to open and lift up the dantian. So the dantian is rolling in, up. So we get this arch through the chest as we come forwards. And now as we go back, The hands are going to come out to the sides. As we come forward here, I'll do it from the front. We're going to use the tiger's mouth to lead the movement forwards. And then we're going to go down as we sink backwards. We're going to push down, weights traded backwards. Now we're lifting up. So we're getting this, lift up, dantian. Palms are facing inwards for this movement. And as you trade the weight backwards, hands coming down. Here, again, we're opening the hips. So we get this open. So the hand movements are mimicking what the hips are doing. Now we're going to come out to the side and tiger's mouth leading as we trade the weight forwards. Sink down with the hands. As you sink down, you're trading the weight back. And then we're doing our lifting up. Hands forward. Trade the weight back. Open the hips. So mimicking the movement of the hips opening. Trade the weight forwards. Down. Sink back. Lift up. So here, open, open, okay. So if we want to trade the weight and change legs, we can do it as a step. We sink down, trade the weight back, lift up. So I'm not sure if you can see, as we do this, you can see the spine is rounding here. So it shouldn't be, this is wrong. So, nothing is happening, just my arms are moving. We want to make our whole body involved in this movement. So when our hands go down, here, the spine is lifting, the dantian is rising, the chest is hollowing. Now we let the hands come forward, we sink back. Here we're going to open the hips, hands out to the side. Tiger's mouth leading, weights in the forward leg. We go down, we sink back. We lift up the dantian, we open the spine. Open the hips, hands out to the side. So this fits an empty leg. And down. So if I show you from the front. So if you think of your spine is still lifting, so although I'm going backwards, I'm not slumping into this leg, I'm not slumping into this knee. And this hip opens. This, you can't see it so easy because of the camera, but see how my foot is not flat on the floor? It's slightly rounded out. So because we want to let the hips open. We sink down, the weight's in the front leg, so that rear leg can be empty. Sit down. Trade the weight back, lifting up, and you're guiding the energy forwards. Exhale as you go back, open the hips. So here, we can step forward and close. So again, you want to feel that this energy is kind of reaching out to the extremities, and then you draw it back in again. So it's like kind of maintaining life balance. Any movement you do, you want to feel that although you extend outwards, you never extend beyond what your boundary is capable of. And you always want to maintain a sense of stability and balance inside. So testing yourself, but never throwing caution to the winds, and so you lose balance and then lose yourself, lose your energy, lose your health. Maintaining the balance. So this energy, this flying phoenix, has a lot of esoteric concepts as well. It's not just a physical move, but this idea of the tiger's mouth, again, sort of heart and lung meridians are involved. And here, this movement inside the body is really working the chest cavity. So you're really exercising the heart and the lungs as well as the digestive organs. So it's a very good exercise for the heart and small and large intestine meridians as well. So that's the forward and back. Before we kind of do a little review, because I'm sort of mindful of time, so I'd like to do a little review as well. Are there any questions on the Flying Phoenix?
Yes, we have a number of questions on that. One of the questions is, would you discuss the weight shift? Another one, I'm give you the three questions that I'm looking at. How to open the hips and still protect the knees. And those are two good questions right there. Let's look at those. So weight shift and knees, how to protect knees.
Okay, I will attempt to answer. I'm sorry, I say to talk about my blurb, but I tend to sort of say, I'm going to answer the question. I answer the questions in a very Chinese way, so that I will say a lot of things. So I will do my best to try to condense how my explanations. But this is part of the Chinese culture, which is this way of explaining and sharing. It's about, like, if you were telling stories to children, you know, when you tell them Aesop's fables, you know, the idea is that they get, like, you know, don't do that. So they build it into a nice kind of a story. So this is part of the kind of way I tend to explain, so I'll do my best to be succinct. Weight shifting, first of all, in Chinese philosophy, I'm just going to pour out some tea as I talk. So for weight shifting, they don't look upon it as just a simple forward-back shifting of movement. It's a much more dynamic and holistic type of movement. So first of all, that is an important concept to kind of have in mind, that you're not just going, you know, forward back like a machine. So their way of movement is like, how would your whole body like make a rotation to transfer weight from one side to another? Later on, you perhaps don't even feel that rotational force or that rotational feeling, but that is an important sort of concept to have in mind. Also, when they're talking about weight shifting, if we're like talking about form work, and many of these foundation exercises do the same, a lot of the exercise of concentrating weight, I'm doing this so you can sort of see what I'm trying to say. Instead of, say, shifting weight like this, it's much more like inside your, like this, I can't see very well, but inside my hips, I try to do like this. So as this weight goes down, this leg can be lifted up, but rather not, it's more that I've shifted and dropped this weight down here so I can lift this leg up. So I'm suspended from above and let this weight feel like it's dropped down through the hip, through the knees, into the earth, then this leg can come up. This is more what we're trying to do rather than like this trading of a weight. Okay, so that's much of what we're doing. So when we're doing the Flying Phoenix, as we're going back, we're sort of trying to go forward here, and we're trying to get this feeling of the hips trading into this hip, let it drop down through this hip. Yes, of course, your knees are a part of your leg, so they will activate, they will move. But this intention is very important, that you think of going down through that leg, not into your knee. So that is, again, something that takes practice. But one way to prevent you going into your knees is staying higher. So why do you stay higher? Is so that you know, until you can control weight dropping, you don't use your knee. If you stay high, you keep it more safe. But think of, like, if we were doing a foot step, like if I put my foot down, my weight's in this leg, I think about transferring the weight like this, dropping that weight, lifting that leg up. And you can do this as an exercise to help you with weight shifting, as we've been discussing. So it's in Chinese, you know, they talk a lot about misunderstanding weight trading, and this is a problem for many people, and that's why Tai Chi has had a reputation for knee pain, but it's because it's being done incorrectly, if you like, or the weight trading has not been mastered yet, so that the people are incorrectly using their knees. So the knee is not a weight-bearing joint. It's to allow, you know, this kind of movement, hinge joint, is to allow weight to trade through it. So when you let weight trade down this leg, think of now pressing with your foot. Don't think about your knee. Think about from your hip, letting the weight drop through. Think of, can I feel my entire foot on the floor? Okay, then that means the weight's gone through. And imagine if you were standing on if you were in like a little creek and it's a bit silty and you can feel the silt and sludge kind of seep through your toes. So if you can feel that, okay, you're not using your knee. And then when you put this foot down, you don't want to slip because you're in this little creek with the sludgy mud on the floor of the creek. Now push your foot into that silty sludge. Get your toes, if you feel it squidging between your toes, and then drop the weight through. So that's how you'd have to walk so you wouldn't slip. And that's how Taiji, that kind of training the weight we're talking about, is a helpful tool to figure out how to train the weight. That was a long answer, sorry. So, okay, Jay, is that okay?
Oh, that was wonderful. And I think perhaps you might want to move on as you wish.
Okay, and the other question, I'm very sorry. The other question was, it was another very good question was?
The other question was how to protect the knees, and I believe you just answered that as part of the question.
That's right, okay, great, so thank you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. But like many things in Chinese philosophy, you know, it's like time and practice, but going at your own pace, listening to your body, doing what your body needs to keep itself safe, but pushing your envelope a little bit. But it's like being a child again, you know, what's safe for you? How do children learn? They don't go straight to the max, you know, they little incremental changes until they incorporate what they can do, and then they go to the next expansion of their abilities. So that's really what you're also looking to do with these exercises. Test yourself a little bit, but slowly does it. Okay. So I thought what we could do, because I'm still mindful of time, so I thought we could do like a little review, and then we'll do the head massage, because the head massage is really quite easy. And of course I didn't get my implement ready. So maybe if I ask my technical assistant, Connie, thank you very much. Thank you. So this is a bottle opener. You can use a pen, you know, like a biro or marker pen. If you have like a plastic knife, you know, like a picnic set plastic knife, anything with a round, smooth edge. Okay, nothing sharp, nothing too narrow that's pointy and uncomfortable. And if all else fails, your thumb. So the thumb pad. So that's what we're going to need for the head massage set. So just in case, if anybody, as we do the review, if anyone wants to like, oh, I know exactly what I've got, I'll run and get it right now. So if you want to get something like that ready, if not, thumbs are okay. But I just want to give you a shout out about that. So we'll do that in a moment. So I thought, rather than now show you, a load more exercises, I had one more I wanted to do, and then we'll do some review. And I hope that way we've got some good material to work with, and that you can practice, haven't overwhelmed you with too many things to remember, and you then forget all of them. So I want to kind of just do one more, and then I think we'll do our review and the head massage. And I hope no one has to like rush off, but if you do, I'll say sort of thank you very much at sort of the time frame. But if we run over a little tiny bit, I hope everybody's okay. Just want to make sure everyone's comfortable, or that we cover any final questions. Okay, so let's just do a little review after this exercise. This is fairly straightforward, fairly easy. So I think we'll just run through this one and then we'll do the review. So this is a Dantian exercise. We have two components for this. One is we want to join the extremities first, and then the Dantian is drawing everything back inwards. So two that we're going to do first. Very simple. Wide stance. I'll show you, and I apologize. First of all, I think outside of China, many people feel it's strange to be touching themselves in public. In China, we're doing all sorts of very odd things to each other and ourselves. So I apologise if this first looks odd, but we're on Zoom, nobody knows. But if you're doing this in the park, I would be careful. But in China, everyone knows it's Qigong, so nobody worries about it. So we're going to start. This is my left leg, my right hand. You're going to make maybe two fingers, or just your middle finger. You're going to be drawing the energy up, out. And so this is a way to join the extremities of the lower body and the upper body. So just to look at, and I'll explain a bit more in a moment, that's all we're going to be doing. So very simple, but I'll just explain. But that's just the movement. It's quite a simple movement. Other hand is just tucked out the way behind the back. So what are we doing with our middle finger? We are drawing the energy. So this is part of your pericardium meridian that runs through the middle finger, up the middle of the arm. So pericardium, very important for the health, but the middle finger is also the intention. It's going to draw energy. So we want to connect lower body to upper body. And then the Dantian exercise we do will connect and recenter it. So starting from the big toe, don't use your finger, use your body to draw the energy up the inside of the leg, which is part of the liver meridian, to the hip joint, up to the sternum, up to the shoulder, rotator cuff, the shoulder area, out. Down here, so you're going to use your body movement to draw the energy up the liver meridian, to the inguinal fold, to the chest cavity, to the shoulder as you turn towards me, out. So use your body to draw your hand. So you really kind of, I know it's going to look odd, isn't it? If I show you with my arm, you want to get, you see the skin. So it's not stroking. You want, I don't know if you can see, I'll do it with this finger. Can you see that indentation? So it's a little bit of pressure, okay? So that's the pressure you want to use because you're drawing energy and stimulating meridians. If you just stroke the skin, you're not doing anything. So 2 more times each side. So use your body. So your body is drawing the hand, the inguinal fold, to the chest, to the shoulder, out. Use your body movement. Chest, shoulder, out. So what do I mean by use the body? So this would be me just using my hand. That's just using my hands. I'm trying to use my body, so my hand stays where it is. My body makes my hand move. Okay, so up the inner liver meridian, inguinal fold, chest, shoulder, out. Okay, one more time. Okay, use your body to bring the arm upwards, turning the body to the chest, turn the body back to bring it up to the shoulder, out. Last one to this side. Shoulder, out. Okay. Okay. And then finally for our Dantian recentering, I think some of you may have done this one with me before. Thumbs push into your navel, okay, and fingers are relaxed. So we have two postures with the hands. So you're either going to have thumbs into the navel, or we're going to have middle fingers pushing into just above the pubic bone, into that soft tissue above the pubic bone, and then the thumbs are released. So either the thumbs are touching the body, other parts of the fingers are released, middle fingers, fingertips touching just above the pubic bone, thumbs are released. Okay, so you never do, not doing this. Okay, so I'll show from the side first, then I'll talk you through. So you're going to drop the head, rotate the dantian, push in with the middle fingers, lift the head, open the chest, rotate the dantian, arch the back, push in with the middle fingers. Drop the head, drop the chest, rotate the dantian up, push in with the thumbs, pull up on the perineum, lift up the head, open the chest, arch the back, rotate the dantian around, push in with the middle fingers. So that's from the side. So that's what we're doing. Okay. So let's go through together. So I'll talk through as we go. Just remember, this or this, not this. Okay. So chin down, drop the chest in, rotate the dantian up and inwards, push in with the thumbs, pull up on the perineum. Now don't change anything below. Lift up the head, lift open the chest, rotate the dantian back, arch the back, release the thumbs, push in with the middle fingers, so we get our nice duck's bottom. Okay, now don't change anything below. Drop the head, drop the chest, rotate the dantian up, push in with the thumbs, pull up on the perineum. So really rounding the back, closing the front. Okay, now we're going to lift the head, don't change below, open the chest, rotate the dantian back, release the thumbs, push in the middle fingers, arch the back. So now we've got a nice duck's bottom. Okay, don't change anything below, drop the head, drop the chest, rotate the dantian up, pull up on the perineum as you push in with the thumbs. Lift up the head, lift up the chest, rotate the dantian back, release the thumbs, push in the middle finger, arch the back to get our duck's bottom. Okay. So those were our let the energy flow out to the extremities and then draw it all back to the dantian. Okay. So let's just see if there are any questions before we go to our review. Anything anyone would like to ask just on those two exercises?
I'm waiting too. We'll see whether there is. Time for the review. Ron. I think it's time for the review, Rose.
Okay. I hope that's a good sign. If everyone hasn't left, you and I are just here doing things. Okay. It's very strange on Zoom. Normally you go, oh, hello. You know, normally you can see lots of people in the classroom. So this is my first Zoom workshop. So sorry. Okay. So let's review what we've done so far, and then we'll have a chance for some questions. And then I thought just as a nice way to end up with a bit of head massage. Okay, so let's review our tendon stretching exercise first. So we're going to rotate the feet out. Make sure end with the feet splayed outwards, not parallel like in a horse stance. And then the hands in front to start. Sit on your bar stool. Relax, still suspended from above. Rotate the hands away from you. Stretch forward, so really get a good stretch through the upper back. Fingertips face up. Now stretch to the side, open. We'll just go one time stretch between each one. So one time stretch as much as you can. Release, stretch, release. Remember, just keep breathing naturally. Then it's palms down, stretch, release, stretch, release. release. So remember, we're still sitting on our bar stool, so don't stand upwards. Again, go within your own range of motion. So turn, as you turn, just turn naturally. Don't hold any tension as you turn. That will also help with your any rotator cuff issues. Palms facing up, stretch, release. One more time, stretch. To the fingertips, stretch, release. Relax the elbows, bring the hands in front of you. Curl the fingers out joint by joint. This time bring them to the inguinal folds here. Inhale to lift up. Inflate the chest. Open the palms. Exhale to push forwards and slightly downwards. Thumb to middle finger. Make a beak. Roll the beak down. Hands out to the sides. Stretch. Good stretch with that forearm. Release. Stretch.
Hello. Trying to hold down the park.
Okay, Rose, you need to unmute now. And whoever wasn't muted, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so we're just now stretching one more time. Palms now flat again. Stretch, release. And then we're just repeating. Palms up, stretch, release. Relax, elbows down. Bring the hands in front. We're going to rotate the fingers up into the fists. This time I'm going to be going to the small of the back. Grasp the right thumb with your left hand as you swivel your feet back together, so heels together, so like in a little ballet posture. Standing tall, not straight leg though. Rotate the shoulders back, let the hands drop down, remember. And then looking up, get a nice banana stretch. So you'll feel that stretch to the whole spine, all the way through to the feet, the head, everything is part of the banana. So the top of the head, bottom, the feet are the two ends of the banana. Everything else is in this nice banana stretch. You come back and stand straight, look forwards, release the hands. Hands out to the sides. Again, hands over the top. Remember, palms are facing each other. Apologize, you can't see my hands. Stretch all the way through. We're going to do this. So as you do, stretch all the way through the ribs. And you're looking up at the ceiling as you do that. So you still really get a good stretch in the neck. So it's very good for being on the computer all the time, looking forwards. Head looks forwards. Drop the hands to face the top of the head. Energy down to the byway point. Hands in front of the mouth, swallow. Keep pushing the energy down, drawing it down to the dantian. Hands in front of the dantian, separate out to the sides, heels or palms pushing down to the floor. Splay open the fingers and toes, rock the body weight forwards, dispel all the stale energy and all the bad, stale negative energy out to the fingers and toes. Rock back, relax. I'll step forward a little bit for this part. Weight to the left. Turn the torso, weight across to the right leg. Left hand out, right hand down. Right hand's a fist. Left hand underneath the armpit. Sit down into our side stance. Trade the weight to the left leg. Use the body to lift up the left arm. Grasp the right wrist. Stretch between the hands and the rear foot. Hands open. Stretch between the palms. Stretch between the fists. Rotate to the left. Look like a rear heel. Come back to face forwards. Grasp the right wrist. Stretch again between the hands and feet. Left hand into the fist. Right hand sinks down. Down into our snake creeps down posture. Use the body to lift up the right hand. Grasp Grasp the right wrist with the left hand. Stretch. Stretch between the palms. Fists, open the scapula. Turn to the right. Come back, face forwards. Grasp the left wrist. Stretch. We're going to step forward. Make our little baby fists with the thumb tucked in. Pushing the inguinal fold on our 3 sliding steps, slowly rising as we walk around. Okay, last one. Coming back up to full standing, let the hands relax. Okay, so that's our tendon stretching and joint opening exercise. Then we'll do our 3 Dongbin Laoshe and Master Dongbin exercises. Okay, so we had up, down, and forward and back. So again, we were going within our own range of motion. So we'll just do a repetition 5 of these. So we're going up and down. And remember, try to time the movement of the arms and the legs to the opening of the spine. So the hips are activated and moved by the spine rather than the hips do the movement and the spine follows. As the spine opens, the hips are activated. Okay, so now we're going to go into our forward and back. So we're going to go forward. Think of the spine opening, the hips and the legs all and the arms are being moved by the spine. We're going forward. And the arms are following the movement of the spine. So like a big kelp forest in the ocean. It's being moved by the current of the spine. So as we get to the zenith of the movement, is a natural finish of the arc of the arms and legs. Okay, one more. And then we just come back to our standing posture. And then we had our double leg flying phoenix. So again, you feel how comfortable you need to be to go low. We had our flying. Remember about our hands with the wingtips. So we're being like a huge bird surveying our land. And so really make it a nice even movement as the spine opens, the hands and legs reach the zenith of their movements. Okay, last one. Okay, and don't forget you can come up onto the balls of the feet for that one. And then we had our forward back. So we're coming back, open the hips. Tiger's mouth leading, push down, open the hips, raise up the dantian. It's a bit like the dantian we were just doing. So the Master Dong's lineage, their way of activating the dantian. Back, raise up, open the back. Open the hips, we're going to change legs. So you can just go leg to leg. So you could do a few on each leg, depending on how many you want to do. But you can maybe do 5 on each leg, but swap each side so you kind of keep it all in the hips and don't tire out or do any problems with your knees. Open the hips, hands out to the side, tiger's mouth leading, push down, lift up. Open, and then as you come back to standing, Okay, and then we have our last two recentering movements. So we had a wide posture. Starting on the left leg first with your right hand, where it's going to be the tip of the fingertip pad of the middle finger. We're going to use our body to draw the energy up, the liver meridian, to the hip, to the chest, shoulder, release the bad energy, draw up, liver meridian, hip, sternum, shoulder, release. One more time each side. You can use your body to draw, to release all the stale energy. Use your body to draw the hand. And then we had our final Dantian movement. So we had thumbs pushing in, drop the chin, drop the chest, rotate the Dantian up, pull up in the perineum, push in with the thumbs, lift the head, lift the chest, rotate the Dantian back, release the thumbs, push in the middle fingers, arch the back, drop the head, drop the chest, rotate the Dantian up, pull up in the perineum as you push in with the thumbs into the belly button, lift the head, lift the chest, release the thumbs, rotate the Dantian back, arch the back as you push in with the middle fingers. So one more time, drop the head, drop the chest, rotate the Dantian up, push in with the thumbs as you push in with the pull up on the perineum. That prevents the energy rising above the diaphragm. Pull up the head, lift up the chest, rotate the Dantian back, release the thumbs, push in with the middle fingers, arch the back. And then we slowly come back to standing. And then just to finish, we recenter 3 times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, exhale. Okay, so that was our set today, and I know we have the head massage, but let's just see if there are any questions that anyone has on anything we've done today.
So no questions right now, Rose. If you'd like to go ahead and do the head massage, I'm sure that would be welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to sit down to do that so you can see me clearly.
While Rose is preparing for the head massage, let me just mention that there is a method for making donations for this particular workshop. It is on a voluntary basis, or Dana. At the end of the session, I will screen share the information for anyone who does not or did not receive the official notice. I hope everyone did. I mean, you must have received it because here you are. But I will screen share the information in any case at the end, so you may make a donation as you wish. And back to Rose.
All right, thank you. And may I just say thank you to everyone who's supported and been very generous, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you very much. And I really appreciate having this opportunity to talk to everybody and share and have fun. And I'm sorry, it's not. I'm very hands-on, as probably many of you who've worked with me before will know. So this is all a new way to talk to everyone. So I hope I've tried to be as open as I can, but I like the idea that I can see you all. So I'm sorry I couldn't see everybody as I was talking, but appreciate all of you being part of this today. So last part, just a very simple head massage, and you can do this morning, night, anytime you want to do it during the day. If you have a headache, it can also be very comfortable, very relieving. But usually just as a sort of health maintenance, morning and night, excellent little massage. I've just got this plastic bottle opener. Anything will do as long as it's got a smooth, rounded, flat edge. So nothing sharp, nothing uncomfortable. In Chinese massage, they like discomfort. So they can often use sharp tools. I would not recommend it at first anyway. If you don't have anything, you can also use your thumb pad. So you see how I've got this nice straight edge? That would also be a good implement if you have nothing else at all. An implement is good because you can really apply more pressure than maybe just with a thumb pad, but that's also good if you don't have anything else. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit complex because of left, right, and me trying to look when I'm doing it, so I'll do my best to make it clear. So the first one, very simple. So we know where our fontanelles are. So when we're going to do the first one, it's a cross here. That's going to be part of what we do. After that, we're going to do the Hairline Points. So these are all very good for overall good health, for headaches, for allergies, for just having good, clear thinking. But Hairline, and then 3 parts for that movement. The next one will be, I think if I pull my head back, you can sort of see. I always forget what these are called, but these are hairlines. You've got one side, the other side. So we're going to be going backwards along there. And then at the back of the head, I'll show you. And then the last one will be on the eyebrows. So very simple, very easy. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to use this flat side. So starting where your fontanelles would be, the first one is going to go forward to just about the temple height. But we want to go slightly behind the fontanelles and go over the top. So just do 3. 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if I do it like that. If you can see. So here's like where my fontanelles will join. So just slightly behind that. And then we go forward from there. 1, 2, 3. And I'm using this part of the edge, not this part of the edge. Then we want to go backwards to the base of the neck. Okay, so again, just in front of the fontanelles, back 1, 2, and again, like Chinese medicine, always a bit harder than you might like, so not too soft. So that was going backwards 3 times. Okay. Next one, we're going to go to the right ear, but we want to start slightly to the left of the fontanelle, so we get right across. 1. I'll do it to the side. 2, 3, and now just the other side, the other leg, other ear. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the first exercise, and I would say first movement, and I would say never worry about what your hair looks like when you do this. Okay, next is your Hairline. So the first one is small movements just on the Hairline itself. So 1, 2, 3. So a little bit of pressure because you want to if you want to relieve headaches, you naturally want to press in there. So a bit of force, so not like this dainty. And the next part is, you see this area of your head, is that rounded part of your dome. So we're going to start to go over that down to the Hairline. 1, 2, 3. And the last one, starting from the other side of the head, down to the Hairline point. 2, 3. So you get different headaches in different parts of the head. So here, when you get that headache all around this part, this is where you can massage. So small movement just on the Hairline itself, 3. Then on that curve of the dome on the same side, so 3. And then from the other side, all the way over, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to do these 2 hairline points. So if you think first, if we do this right side first, if I show you, you're going to go here all the way over the top to this these 2 points at the base of the skull. You see where that hollow is? So that's where you're going to be aiming for. So you're going to go from this hairline back there 3 times, and then it's from the opposite hairline to the same right side. Okay, so if I do it here, 1, 2, 3. Now crossing the other side hairline, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do this side. So, yeah, never worry about what your hair looks like. Okay, so then this hair point to the left side, 1, 2, 3. Now the other hair point, 1, 2, 3. And then the last one, so I'll show you from the back. Straight in the middle, 1, 2, 3. So where your hairline ends, so straight in the middle, 1, 2, 3. So get on the neck, then on these 2 hollows, 1, 2, 3. And then the other hollow, 1, 2, 3. So where you would normally get, like, you know, sore neck from looking at the computer, those areas there are where you're massaging. And then the last one, the eyebrows. So we're going to start just above the eyebrow to the Taiyang temple area. 2. And here you're using this sort of edge, rounded edge, rather than the flat edge. So you get a little bit more pressure. So when you have that sinusitis type of pain, that's a good area to massage. And then the last one is actually all along the eyebrow to the Taiyang point. Okay, again 3. Now just the other side, so just slightly above the eyebrow to the Taiyang point. So starting from the 3rd eye to the Taiyang, and then along the eyebrow to the Taiyang. 2. Yes, keep it on the eyebrow, on that bone, not the eye itself. 3. And then finally, I'm going to give your hair a good squish. So use a little bit of pressure, so you'll be able to stimulate the scalp, make your brain work well, get all that good circulation, and then scraping your fingernails through, all the way back to the back of the neck, back of the head, and then just gentle tapping. I don't know if you have the same saying, but in English, we always, when I was a child, we always used to say, knock some sense into you. I don't have the same expression, but this is the idea of it. Okay, and then finally, with your 2 palms up, down, under the chin, so massage all that good energy into your skin 3 times. Okay, and then finally, as always, we have a little pat down the outside, up the inside, down the outside, up the inside, 3 times, down the outside of the arm, up the inside of the arm, down the outside of the arm, up the inside of the arm. Rub the dantian. This is going clockwise, I think. Yes. And double-handed circles for digestive organs, reproductive organs, kidneys. And then just to close, dantian again. Okay. So that's the end of the session of the information I wanted to share today. Of course, if you have any questions, anything anyone wants to ask, please feel free. I know we've gone over a little time, but I do appreciate you hanging in there and staying with us. So anything you'd like to ask, please drop Jay a line.
So, Master Rose, 谢谢. Shifu, thank you, first of all and last of all. But if anyone would like to ask a question with your voice, speaking, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll recognize you. And we're still figuring out how to raise our hands, perhaps. Why don't we just unmute and see if we can all open up and say something. That may be chaos, but we'll give it a shot.
I just want to, can you hear me?
Yes, Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Master Rose. Thank you, Dr. J. Really appreciate everybody being here. And for my students and anyone who studied Master Dongbin's Yang form or the Sanha Dao, don't forget we meet back here at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So if you want to come at the last minute, if you've studied the Master Dongbin Yang form, if you studied Sanha Dao, most welcome. Just let us know if you want to come to the afternoon session. My students already have the link and know what to do.
Thanks, Gabe.
Hello,
Hello. Hi, Brenda.
I am from Mapleton, Georgia, and I have practiced with the Wolf Senior Center on Thursdays, but I have not yet returned to the center. So this was a welcome to me. God bless you, and may we all stay fit and healthy.
Thank you very much, Brenda, and same to you. And I'm glad it was helpful. I know it must be so many people missing out on classes. My mom, I'm from the UK, and my mom runs, she's in her 80s, but she runs a senior citizens club. And all of her members, because of COVID, they haven't been able to meet for months, and they are desperate to get together and talk and share, and although they're not doing Taiji, but just that interaction with people. I think everyone is really missing the things that they love, the practices that they do, all these different activities and clubs they belong to. So appreciate you coming along, and I hope things do get back to normal very soon too. Thank you.
Rose, this is a wonderful session, and if you think of it and want to, I'm not sure whether you're running any regular sessions, but it seems a logical thing to do during this time, does it not?
Yeah, no, I'd be very happy to do that if people are interested. Yeah, and would love to do some more sessions. So yeah, we'll stay in touch on how we might develop that, or if there are some specific things people would really like to work on. We can make it focused on things that people are actually interested in. Very specific things. So, or we can make it a very generalized topic or form or whatever. So yeah, no, I'd be very interested to do that. So perhaps people could either let Jay or Gabe, or if they wanted to contact me, they're very welcome to. But yeah, I think let's stay in touch on that and see what people would like to do.
Thank you. And let me share this information about Donna. So if anyone is moved, this is the information that was on the announcement. You can write the PayPal address of ColinStarkweather.com, PayPal@ColinStarkweather.com down, and that's one way to donate. Or you may send a check to the address shown on the screen. If anybody doesn't get this or hasn't the connection or misses it, you can always email me, Dr. J at magictortoise.com, and I will send you this information or further information as you wish, as in my role as host this time. But there is the information, and I'm going to go back to Rose because I think most people have this. Here we go. I'm going to stop that. Okay. And if you want to put yourself on gallery view, you can see everybody's smiling faces.
Oh, okay. That would be nice to see gallery view. So we say hi. Hi. Oh, so nice to see all of you. Yeah.
This is Jerry. I just want to say thank you, Rose, and thank you, Dr. J, for hosting this. It's so great to see you all.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. So nice to see you too.
And there's a few of my students on, I think, that came on, and we would be certainly interested in some more.
Yeah, thank you ever so much. Yeah, let's stay in touch, and you know me, I'm very flexible. So if you say people are only interested in XYZ, great. You know, I'm happy to do what was helpful for people. That's my reasoning is that, you know, I'm here to help, not sort of force what I want to do. So yeah, let me know if there's some other things you'd like to do too as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
This is John from Florida. Just wanted to thank you, Dr. J, for including me on this, and Master Rose. I'm from a background of Northern Shaolin, Bagua, and Qigong, and so many don't pay attention to some of these wonderful basics, these great preparation exercises. I feel fantastic. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, John. It's very nice to see you. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I feel exactly the same way and that's how my teachers said they learned. They're teachers, you know, from, you know, a very long time ago, 80 years ago. So that was always the way it was taught. You know, forms came at the end of all of the foundation work because then the forms made sense. But, you know, today's world, it's like, who's got time for that? You know, so unfortunately, I think that's why it's sort of changed. But I'm glad you feel good. And I actually thank you because I feel really good myself. To do all the exercises. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to.
Thank you again.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Hey, Master Rose, this is Nick, and
Trisha.
I'm
Hi,
here with my
Mr.
wife,
Rose.
Trisha.
Thank you,
Hi.
Jay. Thank you,
And
Rose.
we want to thank you. It was wonderful, and I was sweating after about 10 or 15 minutes, and I don't know if that has more to do with me than with what we were doing, but it was fantastic. And I want to thank Dr. J and Gabe for helping to coordinate this. Well done.
Yeah, it was excellent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Great to see you guys again. And yeah, the sweat is good. Yeah,
That's never
in Chinese medicine, they say, you know, this, if you're like dripping like buckets, it's either it's very hot out, or then maybe, you know, if you're like kind of like pouring, you know, like in a shower pouring sweat.
Yeah.
Then they say that's not such a great thing unless it's like, you know, 100 degrees humidity sort of thing. But if it's like that, you know, got a nice little sweat going there, it's very healthy. It's getting rid of all of that toxin from the body and excreting all of that bad energy. So yeah, well done. You can't see, but yeah, I'm like you in such a way.
Master Rose, thank you. This is Lynette Maurer. I want to thank you very much.
Oh,
And Dr. J, thank you for hosting, being the host and having Master Rose. And anytime you would like, it was so beautiful. I would show up.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Lynette. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I love the fundamentals.
Thank you. Yes, me too. Yeah, they're my sort of favorite things to do. And like you say, you feel really good afterwards.
Yes, I feel wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, I had one other question.
Okay.
You were talking about a Chinese massage for your ankle. What was that called?
It's just a Tuina.
Tuina?
Tuina. That just means a massage, acupressure. In literal translation, it's push-pull.
Push-pull massage.
Basically, Tuina means push-pull, but you're getting a massage. But, you know, because they're working deep into the tissue, breaking down, you know, when you have scar tissue, they really will break that down, and it is actually incredibly painful and frightening because you think, he's hurting me, you know, it's going to damage me. But actually, it's like, you know, if you had crust on an old pipe and you had to chip it off.
Yes.
That's really what was happening. But I've never had that problem with since then. So, but I think it's a great thing to do with Tuina. In China, they will do Tuina on a regular basis, just for health maintenance. And, you know, I think in the West, massage is very expensive. Yes. You know, and if you hurt people, they won't come back. In China, you know, if you don't get hurt, they don't feel they've got their money's worth.
God bless, stay safe, and thank you again.
Thank you, you're welcome, thank you. Oh, Barbara, did you have a question?
Not a question. I just want to thank you and Jay so much. I learned a lot. I'm actually exhausted. And a couple of participants from my little group, I think, have already left. But I loved, I didn't realize that the Flying Phoenix actually has other parts. And I was very happy to be enlightened on that. And I also learned so much about how we can increase the benefit of how we're already doing it. And so many other little tidbits and notes and scribbles, and just thank you, thank everyone for your energy and for making this a wonderful highlight of a very difficult time.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. And, you know, I'm very grateful that you joined, and thank you for your initial request as well. I had it on my list to do, so it's good to know that it was wanted. So thank you for that. Yeah, it's lovely to see you too, and thank you.
Same here.
I don't know if anyone has any final questions or anything, or I really just want to say to myself, not to myself, sorry, I want to say myself, thank you to Dr. J and Kathleen for hosting. And I think you did a great job hosting and organizing and liaising. It was really, really helpful, make everything run so smoothly. So I really appreciate that and appreciate your invitation and all the hard work and organization that you've done. Thank you for your support as always. Big thank you to Gabe for being the driving force and organizing everybody and getting all this off the ground. Really appreciate it. And it's so lovely to see. Hello, Kathleen. It's so lovely to see you all. And you know, I know Ada has done a lot of help in the background, and Lauren and Jim and Nick, and I know how much everyone has been putting energy together to make this happen. So appreciate all you guys, and thank you very much. It's been a fantastic experience for me. And my technical assistant, so we got married over here in the States during COVID. I had a very socially distanced wedding, so we've not even really had like a proper reception yet. So maybe one day we'll actually get to see you all in person. But I say thanks to Colin for doing everything so I could just focus on, you know, teaching and working with everyone. So thank you to all of you for joining us. It's been a really lovely experience. So thank you.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So this indeed has been a gathering, a great group of devoted folks who are studying these arts, and it is a wonderful thing to do during this time. Thank you, Master Rose. I think we will take a break now, and for those of you who do know the other forms that Rose teaches, there is a correction session. Gabe, I want to thank you again for being the energy behind this. And those of you who are coming back in the afternoon, see you at 1:45. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Bye. Well, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.